just found it so genuinely helpful for me going forward with the business. Steph has just made this so simple for me. I mean, in the matter of a few hours, we've gone through my whole business processes, what we need, almost immediately been able to pinpoint the right product for me.
Hi, I'm Steph Middleton Foster from Configure Me This, and today we're here at Glorious Garden Rooms to talk to Nicola D'Souza about the systems and processes for their new product offering. So we're going to look and focus on how we can streamline and automate a big part of the sales process and the customer onboarding process to make it more efficient for them to scale and take on some new customers. So today was a really good example of a workshop to look at systems and processes, because with Nicola's business it's quite new, and so a lot of her processes were in her head and they weren't necessarily documented in a linear fashion that flowed well. And so part of the role today was to look at every element of the customer journey, right from the very first touch points where they first become a lead and make an inquiry into the business, into how that sale happens, and then how they then become onboarded as a customer. So we touched everything right from the initial marketing through the sales process. We then talked about how we can process the sales, sending invoices and contracts, and then we looked at how we can create a really awesome customer journey for her clients and really add some sparkle to the way that they do things to help them stand out as a business. We identified a really great piece of software that can help her. So then the next steps are for Nicola to take away the plan that we've got and set up the CRM system. There are two options there. She can either take the plan and use that with her in-house team to implement the solutions we've talked about, but in this case we're going to come back and actually work with Nicola as a project manager to oversee the implementation of this and make sure that everything fits into the right place, all the nuts and bolts are working the way that they should.
I'm Nicola D'Souza. I run a company called Glorious Garden Rooms. Just found it so genuinely helpful for me going forward with the business. We're a new company. This is so new to me. I haven't used a CRM properly in probably 20 years when I used to look after it. But I'm just so rusty now that I don't really know what I'm doing anymore. And I know that there is capability for programs that will run things for me and automate things, but I just didn't know which one to choose because there are so many on the market.
And the thing about asking other business owners for advice around which piece of software to use is that you'll always get 10 different recommendations, but without really understanding what each of those pieces of software can do for you, or without understanding what you need in the first place, it's really hard to make a decision.
I also have ideas of what processes should be, but I find it quite hard to get those down on paper, and in my head it looked more like a spidergram than anything, and that's made me feel restricted in what I can do. So it's important that we get it right first time.
Because actually implementing a new CRM system into the business is a big deal, and if it's not done correctly it can be a costly mistake. The benefits of doing one of these workshops before you actually implement any solutions into the business are that you can properly understand how the business works or how you'd like it to work. The danger with these things is that because you want to implement solutions quickly, you can sometimes choose the wrong piece of software because you haven't understood the exact requirements of the business. So these workshops really help take everything that's in the business owner's head or in the operations team's heads about how things do work and should work, so that we can pinpoint exactly what the business requires and therefore find the right solution.
Absolutely, I've not found anybody that did the same thing, certainly not with the same level of enthusiasm. I'm not intimidated by Steph at all. She makes everything sound very easy. Even at the beginning when we sat down with a blank sheet and I thought, oh, I'm going to be exposed here for not knowing anything, she's actually managed to bring everything out that's already in my head.
I have to say, my brain works in a different way to most people. It is an absolute joy for me to sit down with a whiteboard and get the contents of people's brain out in a logical order.
She's written it down perfectly, she was intuitive about it, and she's completely come up with the right solution, I think and hope, and I can't wait to get started.